Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Oscar Buzz. Trevor here, joined by Thomas as always. And today we are going over updated Best Picture predictions.
Oh,
Haven't done this in a little bit over a month. And to be honest, it feels kind of easy right now, but we're doing this right now because it is going to be our last predictions video for the Oscars before the storm of Precursors. And we probably won't do updated Oscar predictions, honestly, until maybe before the nominations.
yeah,
Um,
honestly.
like this might be it for a while because we're gonna have Globes and then Critics' Choice and then BAFTA and then SAG and DJP, all of these things. So it's gonna be very exciting. But yeah, it's gonna be a second. We're gonna have a lot more information. This 10 will probably change, but as of now,
Yeah,
it
as of
feels
now, it feels worryingly safe, almost
worryingly,
worryingly.
scarily
Like,
safe.
why do we have all 10 that we feel good about at this
Yeah,
stage?
we
It's
shouldn't
not
feel good.
happened before. But yeah, I mean, you're right. We do have a very sort of clear 10.
Which let's talk about this. So I will say we do have a different winner. I have said secretly, and you know we can like people have receipts. Barbie's been my number one for Best Picture of what I think is going to be winning since like March.
Yeah. No.
Like I had Past Lives up there, and you know had all these, but like you know behind closed doors, I've always kind of thought it's been Barbie because SAG, WGA, and then the more that I've thought about it, and the movie made $1 billion, and then the reviews are all very good, and it feels like it has a path. I'm just gonna put it out there now that it really does feel like it can win to me. And I know it would feel really really weird, and
Yeah.
it would feel very weird. But if we're thinking about what film represents the culture zeitgeist, where like it really feels like Barbie. I don't know. I don't know. I'm leaning towards it. We won't put it number one for the video because you're gonna have much more compelling arguments than I will. But again, I'm just gonna throw out there SAG, WGA. I think it can win PGA. I genuinely believe it can win PGA.
It
I'm not
could.
predicting it. I'm only
It
predicting for SAG,
could. I
WGA.
just,
But
yeah, I don't know. I just think with Ryan Gosling seemingly like I'm not entirely convinced he wins anymore. I think screenplay will still happen. I just don't know. I think when you've got things like Oppenheimer and that potential in director, potential in screenplay, potential in acting, when you've got Killers, potential in director,
But here's the thing:
potential in
we're
screenplay,
only
potential in
predicting that
acting.
for direct. Like we're only predicting Oppenheimer for picture. Like no film is I know we're only predicting that for director above the line right now.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
so that's only getting one. So it's
Plus
Barbie with
all
screen.
the
Like
text.
Barbie's also getting a lot of time. Like we can put Oppenheimer on number one. Oppenheimer I think is still very very strong. I
Yeah.
want Barbie number two though.
No, I'd say Killers is number 2.
No
Just in
sorry
case
sorry no.
Killers could develop a win now, especially if Scorsese
Token Barbie.
gets stronger.
Token Barbie. Barbie can
Not in the
absolutely
same
develop a
way.
win there.
Not in the same way.
Not in the
The
same way, but
Oscars
it
will
can start.
not go for Barbie. The Oscars will not go for Barbie to winning Best Picture. Like Killers
But again,
does have a
this
chance
isn't
because Killers can win
Thomas.
screenplay. It
This
can win
isn't
director.
the
Lily can
Oscars
win.
aren't a collective hive mind. The Oscars, they are
Yes, no,
individual
they're not a
voters.
collective high mind, but there's enough of a contingent that will just not even do Barbie in Best Picture
I
in
know.
the
I'm
Academy.
just saying this is what we said about everything here. I'm not saying it's the same thing, okay? Because that obviously had like massive sweeps across the board, right? I'm just saying that if any film, like we've seen this before, where they turn away from the cold, longer films for something that also feels like it represents the moment, but like is much more fun.
Which can also be said about Poor Things. Poor Things and Barbie are
Having seen
quite
Poor
similar
Things,
films
but
based
having
on
seen
what
Poor
I've heard
Things,
about
like
them.
I think that there will be also a bunch of people who won't go for that. Like
But I think the same people who will be going for Barbie will be the same ones going for Poor Things. And I think
no, absolutely not.
you don't think
I very strongly disagree with that statement. Very strongly.
you sure?
Yes, I've seen both. I've seen Poor Things. Poor Things
Yeah.
is far more artsier. Like Barbie is the type of film that straddles the line between like it's like doing something where like you know film people are going to enjoy it, but then it also hits where like mainstream people like the parent test. Okay, I always think about this. Okay, what movie is going to hit with my parents, and it's always something that straddles the line. All right, it
And you
can't
don't
be
think
too
Oppenheimer
artsy.
also straddles that line?
I think
Major
so.
blockbuster, major summer blockbuster, has all the artistic merit
I
there, has all the
I
technical
would
elements as
listen. I would
well,
agree, which is why I
made
think
a
that they're top
bunch of
two.
money.
Which is why I think that they're top two.
But then the Killers, I think there is enough of a contingent in the Academy that will view that as just the objectively best film of the year. Like
But I
it's
also think there
important,
will
it's
be a
got
lot of people
narratives
who do that for
there.
Barbie. I think there will be a lot of people who do that for Barbie.
I disagree. I don't think Barbie will be number one on enough people's ballots in the same way. I
I think
genuinely
you
don't think so.
underestimate people who don't watch a lot of movies who vote.
In the Academy, you don't
Yeah.
think they would have seen Oppenheimer and Killers of the Flower Moon?
I think no, I'm saying that there might have been people who like again they haven't seen that many, so Barbie is going to show up on their list purely based on they've seen it and maybe they feel moderately positively towards it. Like I think it's going to be up there.
I think it's up there. I think there is every chance Killers is able to develop a narrative in a way that Oppenheimer. Like I think like one of Oppenheimer and Killers will drop off eventually.
Right, which is why I think
I'm just
Barbie's
not
number two
entirely
because
sure which
Barbie's
one.
the alternative. I think
No,
Barbie's the
but in
alternative.
which case I think one of Oppenheimer or Killers will end up being the eventual winner.
Okay,
One
sure,
of
sure.
those two in my mind. So
That's
therefore
fine.
they are in my
I've
mind
already
top.
said we don't have to put Barbie
If that
number
makes
one
sense.
right here. I'm saying that Barbie should be number two because if we're saying I agree. I think Oppenheimer and Killers are going to have a similar narrative and one will drop off, in which case the alternative is Barbie. As like because like the alternative has to be something that it
Yeah,
feels.
but if we don't know which one's going to drop off, I'd say keep the number two now, since those are the two in my mind most
Oh,
likely
I
to win
feel
Best
very strongly
Picture.
that Oppenheimer though I think will be stronger. I think.
Really?
Hmm.
You don't think there is any chance that Killers can develop a narrative based on importance, based on Scorsese, based on acting? Like the wins are there. The
Right.
wins are there for
I
Killers.
think Oppenheimer is considerably stronger.
Exactly, which is why I would have Oppenheimer one and
Sure.
Killers number two. Like, but those
I
are the clear top two in my mind.
Barbie's
One of
not my
those,
number one, so it's going number two. Like
but one of those will win Best Picture in my mind. Oppenheimer or Killers.
right,
Therefore, they are the top two.
but I think Barbie's winning Best Picture. So that can be your top two.
I think that's crazy. I'd like to make this known that I think that is crazy. I need
Well,
that out in the open. We can put Barbie free.
I'm
I
putting it
just
number two. It's my number. I'm predicting it to win Best Picture.
I think you're insane. But
SAG,
anyway,
WGA, PGA is there.
PGA is there. I just don't know if it will actually happen. I just don't.
If it wins PGA, SAG, and
I
WGA,
don't think
how are
people
you
will
going
take
to
it
win?
seriously. I don't think people will take it seriously. I really don't.
I mean, I don't think
I
people have to
don't
take it
think
seriously.
people will take it seriously to give it wins. To give it wins in picture and major ceremonies. I think enough of passion will be
Purely based off
developed
of us
and
having
pushed
it
towards
winning,
screenplay.
purely based off of us having it winning a screenplay category, I feel like it has to be there. Like,
It's in the top five. It would be my number four, probably. It would be my number four, but
what else do you
yeah,
have above it?
probably Poor Things, just in case, because I know you say
Uh,
no, but I haven't seen the film yet, and enough people are saying
yeah, I
yes,
would even
yes,
put
yes. So,
Holdovers above Poor Things, to be honest.
and
But
in
that's fine.
Holdovers, yeah, I could even put Holdovers above Barbie though. So like in terms of
I,
what's yeah, I just don't
absolutely
think
not.
people will take Barbie seriously for a Best Picture winning. Like I can see them taking it seriously enough, push all the passion towards screenplay. Great, the screenplay is great. The screenplay is 100% deserving. The film, it'd probably be number two in the Best Picture lineup. Like I'd love to see it win. This is not a detractor on that.
Yeah,
But
you have a higher rank on your list than I do.
yeah, this I'd love to win. I just don't see it in the slightest. I just really can't fathom them doing a film like Barbie to win Best Picture. I just don't think we're at that stage yet.
I don't know. I can see it. I can picture it in my mind. And I wouldn't even love it as a Best Picture winner, to be honest. And I adore this movie. I don't think it would be a very good Best Picture winner, but I could really see it happening. It would also just be terrible for the film if it won Best Picture.
Oh
Like
yeah, yeah.
terrible. Like I kind of like again, I like the film a lot, but like of the contenders, like I prefer Anatomy of a Fall. I prefer Poor Things. I mean, I prefer Past Lives. Like, I prefer a lot of things. I'll probably prefer Zone of Interest when I see it, but I haven't yet. But like, I can really see it in my mind. I can really see it. And again, I love Barbie. If
I
you've
just
seen the videos
really
of her,
can't. I
it's
really can't see it winning a Best Picture. I just don't think he'll be taken seriously enough at a fundamental level. It's a
I don't know.
overly stylized film with a lot of quite negative backlash, corporate movie, a lot of things against it. I just don't see it winning. I just don't. I can't fathom them doing it.
I mean, and again, that's everything you're saying is perfectly justifiable. I have a really weirdly strong gut feeling towards this.
Yeah.
Like, I can just see, I can just feel it. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, we mentioned Poor Things. It's worth mentioning.
yeah, it's there. I don't. That's something where I can't fathom that winning.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a case of I haven't seen it yet, but other people
Mhm.
are sort of saying yes, and if a lot of people are saying yes, then maybe it does turn into something. Holdovers we
Maybe.
mentioned as well. I think this is a clear top five at least.
Yeah, this
Holdovers.
is the obvious top five.
I mean, I just am not seeing the wins for Holdovers anymore outside of
Mhm.
Divine Joe Randolph, honestly.
But even
So
that, Daniel Brooks and Emily Blunt,
even
like
that, there is.
Daniel Brooks seems to have kind of like asserted herself, and I think Emily Blunt is still stronger than Divine.
Unless
So.
Divine Joe Randolph becomes a critic sweeper, which is
Which maybe,
there's potential,
mhm,
and if that hair does happen, they could just she could end up taking it, and that's where
maybe,
Holdover's passion gets delivered. Number
but
six, I think, is Maestro fairly easily.
yeah,
That's
fairly easily. And
it.
then I think American Fiction
Who's
pretty
winning?
easily.
Honestly, yeah,
Like I think
probably.
it's in screenplay and actor, and I think I'll have a lot of passion. So
Yeah, exactly. Color Purple honestly might be number 8, just if we're fairly sure now Daniel Brooks is getting in.
Yeah, and apparently the film's, like, great, so
Exactly. Yeah, it just feels like in a year of
here's the thing
Set
though,
10,
I
type in
still
it slips in.
don't think actress. I still don't think
No,
actress,
I
and
think
we
actress is
haven't done actress,
too.
but
I think actress might be too full for her to get
right.
in. But
I just because like, I feel like she would have had to have, like, she seems to be and, we aren't gonna be doing an actress update for a while, so we can just touch on this now. Like, the highlights of the film have been Danielle and Taraji.
yeah,
You
yeah,
don't get into a leading category if you are, like, the 3rd most talked about performance in a film, and your film isn't, like, a top 3 contender for Best Picture to win.
yeah,
Like, that
yeah.
just doesn't happen. If you're getting into a leading category, you should be, like, one of the most talked about performances in your movie, and if, like, all of the attention is going elsewhere, I don't know.
I think it's just West Side Story but weaker. Like West Side Story would have probably been in the
Yeah,
top
I mean, that's what
5.
we've been saying for a
Yeah,
while.
like West Side Story would have probably been in the top 5, aided by that Spielberg nom. Without a director nom, it's still in the 10, but it sort of just
Right,
drops down to this sort of spot number 8 we had it. So
right.
yeah,
Supporting
like
it,
it's
like,
just West Side
wins
Story but
supporting
weaker.
actress.
Yeah,
It grabs an extra supporting actress
grabs a
nom.
couple techs. Yeah,
Right, but Mrs. Director, Mrs. Screenplay, get some text. I think that's and then it's just in Best Picture. Yeah,
yeah.
I think that makes a lot of sense. And then these last 2 slots, I mean, like, Past Lives, Anatomy of a Fall. I think that there is reason to maybe get a little bit nervous about something like Past Lives, but as of now, I think there's enough passion, and also, what the fuck else is gonna get nominated?
And what the fuck else is A24 gonna push out? Like
Right.
it would feel weird now, weirdly, to have a Best Picture lineup without an A24 film
Mhm.
in there. And so Past Lives, they can easily just direct all their campaign, all of the stuff. Like,
And again, what
yeah.
else? What else is getting nominated?
And if it's
Someone tell me.
potentially still winning screenplay, like I could still in a world see Past Lives win Best Picture, original screenplay. So
Maybe.
there's that going for it.
Maybe if, like, Barbie gets moved back to adapt it, and I think it may be stronger than Holdovers.
I wouldn't say it's stronger than Holdover. I'd say they're the only 3 in that category they could
Well,
win.
I'm saying, like, in this weird world where maybe Past Lives can win, I'm
Yeah,
saying, like, maybe it could develop enough passion to surpass Holdovers if Barbie
potentially,
moves.
potentially,
Like, something like
potentially.
that could happen. But yeah, I mean, as far as other options here, like, Zone is here, but I'm just backing off on this film. I mean, again,
Yeah,
I think I'm going to absolutely love this. I'm a big fan of Glazer, but I really am not feeling confident about this film to be getting not just Best Picture, but just, like, Oscar nominations in general. From just everything I've heard about it. Air, no. Need I say more? Spider-Verse, like,
no, it can't
no.
happen.
There's a lot of these things that we did argue for earlier. Things like Spider-Verse, things like Zone of Interest, right? That maybe those things could happen because they were big critic hits. The problem is that everything is a critic hit this year, and we said this
Exactly.
before, right? Like, everything just hit with full festivals, which meant that we got a great year for film. But
Yeah,
it just seemed like every movie was getting 90 plus on Metacritic, which then means that films like Spider-Verse and Zone of Interest, which were big hits early on,
yeah,
since one is a more experimental international film, one is an animated film, they're going to go for the more conventional and more traditional, type films that are also just massive critic hits, and that doesn't
yeah.
leave as much room for stuff like Spider-Verse and stuff like Zone to be the critic hits that can slide in.
I think there is a chance for May December to
I think that could
potentially
happen.
develop.
I know
If
Jack
Charles
made those,
Melton
but
is a critic sweeper and starts potentially getting into the conversation where he wins supporting
there's a
actor,
world
which is
Charles Melton
potentially
could
happen.
win. Yeah, Charles Melton could win if he
Exactly.
sweeps everything. He could win.
And then in fact can also pick up the screenplay. And if now the Netflix have Maestro securely in essentially, they don't really
Mhm.
need to do much campaign. Like Bradley Cooper's going to do the
Netflix can
campaigning
get
himself.
2.
Netflix can very easily get 2. I would honestly maybe have May December number 11 just because I can see the
I
passion
could
there.
see
I
it
can
because
see the discourse
Julianne could
around it.
slide into supporting actress because that category is pretty weak.
Yeah, people are loving the film.
Yeah,
I mean, so yeah, I'd honestly put that number 11 over something like Zone of Interest or Spider-Verse or Air, just
yeah,
because I can see the potential for it, whereas I can't really see the potential for it in Zone of
yeah,
Interest unless Zone of Interest establishes itself as winning international feature,
which I don't see.
and if which I don't entirely see, but if it can potentially
Right.
develop that, and if Glazer is
Which
in
I put that 12
potentially.
because there's a world.
Yeah, there's a world in which that does happen, and there's just enough people
Right.
that go, "Yes, best film of the year,"
And then with
and that
Air,
just
there's a
can see
world where
them.
maybe Viola can squeak in and, like, it maybe slides into screenplay over something like
Yeah,
there's a world. But yeah, other than that, like, literally what else?
exactly.
Literally
There's
what
nothing
else?
else. Like Rustin now, no. Napoleon, no.
No,
Saltburn, no. All of Us Strangers, no. Origin, Ferrari, no. Next one is
like,
no, 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 no,
Priscilla?
no. These are all just no's.
Priscilla
Yeah, I
probably
mean,
not.
it's no, but
It's
like
another A24.
yeah, it's higher than a lot of things on on Gold Derby
Like,
currently.
okay, how are we gonna make it 15? 14 is Spider-Verse, I guess.
I would honestly put Priscilla
Priscilla
15.
15.
I mean, it'd be between that or All of Us Strangers, because if All of Us Strangers can get things like
Well, because of the
Globe, maybe
power,
Seeker
because of the power
screenplay.
of my editing, we put Priscilla into screenplay in our last video.
Oh yeah, there you go. I mean, that solves that debate. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that that's probably it.
I mean, whereas I personally have All of Us Strangers in screenplay purposes, so
Yeah,
I'd put
which is
that one.
fair. Which is fair. I mean, we can just make it 16, throw all of us strangers on here as well. But
Yeah.
I do think that there's a world where Kaylee can maybe slide into. But again, that category feels very
Maybe.
full. It's the same problem with
Yeah.
Fantasia, where the category feels very full. The difference is that she is really the talked about part of that film. So
Yeah, equally, I could see it getting Kaylee in screenplay and still not getting a picture. So
that could happen as well. Yeah, absolutely. So, but that's generally where we're at with Best Picture. A bit of a shorter video because the 10
I mean,
just
we've
feels
got a
so
clear 10.
obvious.
We've got
We
a clear
have a
10.
10. And again, this will probably get so fucked up over the month of December when we get Globes and Critics' Choice and all, PGA and all these different types of things, right?
What are the chances we get like 5 of these right by the end? Just because just random shit just starts happening.
I think usually at this point of the year we're like 7 or 8. Like I think last
Yeah.
year we had Babylon in when we shouldn't have, and we still didn't
Well,
have
last year
like
we didn't know Avatar yet
yeah.
to the same
Yeah,
extent.
yeah.
So
I don't think we had
that was it.
Avatar or All Quiet, I want to say at this point last year.
No, we wouldn't have had All Quiet
And I think
either.
we had Glass Onion and Babylon or something like that.
We had a definite Netflix one.
Yeah, Netflix one and Babylon, yeah. So,
Yeah.
and there might have been one other thing they were missing because we were early on
We probably
Elvis.
wouldn't have Triangle of Sadness. I don't.
No, so I think
Necessarily.
those were the 3. So like we got 7.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
maybe there's, set.
There's
But
a
I
chance that we get
and like
some.
that's the thing,
But
like
yeah, I don't know.
at least this top 8, I'd be pretty surprised. And maybe American Fiction, The Passion just like fades away. So yeah, I think at least 7 of these, I would be surprised if we didn't get at least 7 by the end.
Oh yeah, I think 7. Yeah, I think, and if you're looking at one to maybe drop, ooh, that's a.
I mean,
might be Past Lives.
It might be Past Lives. It could be Anatomy if like what if Sandra Hüller is just the one who's pushed from actress? That could happen. That would be tragic. But like, to make room for like what if they want to put in Fantasia, Margot, and Kaylee or something like that, like
Maybe
to make like that could happen. I mean, Color Purple, if maybe first reactions are like
maybe wide release. Yeah,
I don't necessarily know if that would happen, but again, tiny sliver because I think the top 6 is just so locked at this point. Because it would be like, yeah, American Fiction, if maybe the passion fades away once the film comes out, and it just like.
but I feel like it would be the exact opposite. I really
Right.
don't.
I again, which is why this 10 feels so safe. But I'm just
Yeah,
coming up with playing devil's
yeah,
advocate here. Like, what if it just it dies and it
yeah.
wasn't as much as we thought, right? Collaborable, same thing. What if that happens? Past Lives, if that just goes away.
I honestly think Past Lives would be the most likely because it was just released the earliest. Like
Yeah.
the acting's not assured, so I think that would be in my mind the number 10 currently. If you're looking for it to drop, but either way,
Probably.
I think there is enough passion there for it.
I don't see how. Yeah.
No, I just don't see it dropping.
It really does feel like this 10.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
So that is where we are at right now with Best Picture. Again, we'll be doing prediction videos and reactions and stuff for other award ceremonies like the Globes, like Critics' Choice, like the Guild, BAFTA, all these types of things, and we will give our updated thoughts probably throughout those. But probably January, like late January at the earliest when we do our next reactions, which I think the Oscar noms are like mid-January. So yeah, probably next Oscar nom predictions will be our final predictions for the nominations. Yeah. But we will obviously be giving updated thoughts on what the different nominations mean for the race, as well as giving plenty more movie reviews and like our personal awards and all of that fun stuff at the end of the year. So make sure that you stick around for that if you would like to. And you can follow us on social media in the description if that is something you're interested in. You can leave your Best Picture predictions in the comments below. But until next time, thank you everybody for watching. Stay safe. Goodbye.